It's been a difficult sort of week, lots of change. Was tonight a good release after everything that's happened?
I think it was the minimum that we could show after like you said, after a tough week. It's never easy when things like this happened. The minimum we could do was to bounce back, win the game, try to give everything, give at least a good image in terms of effort, dedication. I think we showed today. We were really determined to win the game.
Just a message for Erik Ten Hag. You've worked closely with him. He was one of your trusted lieutenants. I'm sure it's quite sad when a manager loses his job.
Yeah, it is. And we felt it. Day after was a really sad day for us, for everybody. He was a man that breeds football 100%. This is what he loves the most. But it's part of football. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. We just wish him all the best. Thank him for everything that he did for us. Personally, helped me a lot. I mean, he helped me to break through at this club. He gave me all the confidence that I needed to show that I deserve to play for this club. And overall, we win 2 trophies together. I think that's we keep with the good memories.
Looking ahead to the future, I know you can't say much because Ruben Amorim is not officially confirmed as Manchester United's new manager yet, but you will watch a lot of Portuguese football and know all the talk about him. What can you tell us about his playing style and how he's thought of in Portugal?
I mean, obviously he's a good manager. We don't know if he's coming or not. We see the rumors like everybody sees it, but we'll just focus on what we have here, doing our job. Then when the future brings, we'll be ready.
Right, for more on this, we're joined by Paul Merson. Paul, good morning to you. Look, it's nearly as anticipated as your first Strictly dance. Is Ruben Amorim worth the wait for Manchester United?
I hope his managing skills are better than my dancing ones. Otherwise, United are in trouble again. Yeah, I mean, he's done amazing at Sporting. He's done absolutely amazing. I was over in Portugal last year. I got in a cab and was talking to a cab driver who's a massive Sporting fan, and he was going mad about him, how great he was, how he's turned the club around, the football they're playing. This is going to be different. You know, no disrespect, that was Sport Lisbon. They play against Porto and Benfica. That is it. You're coming to manage one of the biggest clubs in the world. They're not one of the biggest football teams in the world. They're one of the biggest clubs in the world. And this is where it all starts. We've seen it with Ten Hag, brilliant at Ajax. You know, you come to Man United, you win one, draw one and lose one, and you're under pressure. So it'll be different for him. He's got a lot of work to be done, but he's coming with massive, what's the word you would use? He's, you know, in regard, you know, he's done brilliant what he's done so far, but this is another 5 steps up, 5 steps.
And look, he's got the chance, doesn't he, to be an even bigger legend before he starts the job at Old Trafford, because he plays Manchester City in the Champions League. So, you know, beat Manchester City, then arrive at Manchester United. But what about Ruud van Nistelrooy, Paul? And especially the job he's done, albeit in one game. Is there an argument? I know there certainly is from a lot of Manchester United fans that perhaps he deserved the crack.
It is hard, you know. As I keep on going back, this is one of the biggest clubs in the world. Do you know what I mean? And just to go, you know, he's won one game, give him a chance. You know, everything went in. Van Nistelrooy was right what he said. You know, they missed chances against West Ham. They missed chances against Fenerbahce. They all went in last night. You know, and he's done well. He's done himself no harm, where if the new manager comes in and wants to bring his own staff in and he gets rid of Van Nistelrooy, then he hasn't done himself any harm with this result. But he's got another difficult game coming up against Chelsea this weekend. But he should be working now on the strength of trying to get himself a job, because, you know, if he does well in the next three games or so before the international break, he's got a chance to get in a job. There's no doubt about that.
I think, Paul, if the Manchester United fans were being, you know, brutally honest, they've had trophies, haven't they, from Moyes to Ten Hag via Jose and various other managers. But, you know, the last real success was, of course, under Sir Alex Ferguson, under a sustainable period of time. Why will Amorim, the million-dollar question, be any different?
I don't know if he will. I don't know. You know, he's managed in Portugal. He's done everything right. His team played very well against Arsenal last year in the Champions League, lost on penalties. This is different. It's different. You know, this is Man United. It's so different. I can't, you know, it's so hard to explain where we've seen all these managers, you just said, Will, you draw one and lose one, that's it. That is it. You're under severe pressure every game, and this is what Man United bring Manchester United as a football club. But as a football team, they're nowhere near them heights, nowhere near. So, as I keep on saying, one of the biggest clubs in the world, with an average football team, just above average in the Premier League. So it's going to be hard for him. I hope he gets it right. He's earned the right. He's done brilliant where he's been at Sporting. But as I say, this is a lot of steps forward, a lot. There's a lot to be done at Man United. I can't emphasise enough how far they're behind the big boys in the Premier League at the moment.
Yeah, so when he finally comes into Carrington, which we think will be ahead of that game against Ipswich after the international break, Paul, and he's looking at his inbox and his in-tray, what do you see as Amorim's biggest challenge at Manchester United? What is the absolute immediate priority for him?
I would say getting the players to understand the way they want to play. I watch Man United play, and there hasn't been identity there for a long time now. And for the players, they don't understand that. I think it's for him to come in, get his ideas across, and start playing as a team. At the moment, I look at Man United as a lorry load of individuals. They're not a team. They don't press together. When they do press, a couple press, and then one won't press. And I just think he's got to get everybody understanding the way he wants to play. And I don't think that was the case with Man United. I don't think anybody could honestly sit there and tell me what Man United were trying to do, because no one really knew what they were trying to do. They didn't have an identity. I watched Chelsea last night against Newcastle. You know what they're trying to do. They're trying to play out from the back. There's movement. Newcastle on Sunday, some of the stuff was amazing. That manager's been in here 2-3 months, and you can see what they're trying to do. We haven't had that at Man United under Ten Hag, and I think that's the main thing this manager's got to do.
And in terms of the players, Paul, that he's got, Manchester United's hierarchy have basically let Erik Ten Hag over 2.5 years just reassemble that Ajax team, which hasn't worked, clearly, because Ten Hag has lost his job. So in terms of, the style of players that Amorim is used to and what he's got, that's not going to happen overnight, is it?
No, 100%. They've got to learn how to walk first, Man United. They can't just start running and then sprinting within the next 1 or 2 months. There's going to be some break times at Man United in the next 2 or 3 months where they play scintillating football and they win games. But it's going to take time. There's going to be results. It's going to be up and down, because the manager's going to come in and he's going to know there's a lot of work to be done. So for me, that's the problem he's going to have. I don't know how long it's going to take, but it ain't going to happen overnight. That's definitely for sure. Even though they will have days, Saturdays or Sundays or Mondays, where it does click like it did yesterday, but that won't on a consistent basis.
Just on Ten Hag, Paul, he must have been watching that last night and thinking, what the hell is going on?
That happens all the time. It happens all the time. He ain't the first manager that's happened to. It does happen. It does happen. Van Nistelrooy hit the nail on the head. They had chances against West Ham. They had chances against Fenerbahce. I've seen them have chances against other teams. They just all went in. Casemiro's putting the ball in from 35 yards, top corner. He has a header that hits the post, bounces back right at his feet, he smashes it in. Fernandes has a free kick, takes a wicked deflection. Them things weren't happening under Ten Hag. It was a struggle, and they got lucky. I wouldn't say they got lucky. They just all come together last night. But that's got to come together again on Sunday, and I think it's back to reality on Sunday against Chelsea. I really do.
Yeah, we don't want to make this all about slamming Ten Hag, but you think in his time at Old Trafford, Paul, you very rarely saw, games or moments where he had that connection with his players and with the fans. Is that something that Amorim is going to need to have straight away? Is that something you need to have as a top flight elite club manager these days?
Yeah, you got to be careful, because you can cover over the cracks and kid people by standing on the touchline, giving it 3-4-2 or 3-5 this, or and trying to be busy on the touchline. He just stood there, he sucked it in. He was watching what he was watching. Every manager's different. You get managers that run up the line, they're shouting, some sit down. Everybody's different. The one thing I would say that he's got right, that Ten Hag got horribly wrong, is the transfer market. The transfer market, I'm off the top of my head, I'm trying to think who he brought in that was a major, major success. And that's where the problem lies at Man United. Every player, you know, I don't want to pick on him, but they bought Anthony for like 80 mil. 80 million. I mean, that's a sack in itself, in my opinion. You know what I mean? You know, and this is what you were saying, Will. He's bringing players in from Ajax. It's different. You know, we're talking about, you know, I hear people saying about Gyökeres coming in from Benfica, who's done great. Well, why didn't Man United buy him when he was at Coventry?
Yeah.
I know, because everybody would say, oh, he played for Coventry. What are we buying him for? He played for Coventry. But now he's played for Benfica. He'll come there in open arms in January or at the end of the season, because he's not at Coventry, he's at Benfica, but he's no different player. You know, he's a top player. So, you know, they've got to get the market right. The market's where they got it horribly wrong. You might be able to help me here, Will, but I can't think of too many that have been a massive success that he's brought in.
No, it's a good point. And I'll tell you what, even bigger question than that, the Everton fans will be saying, why didn't we pay £15 million for Gyökeres when they could have got him from Coventry? But that's a whole other story, isn't it?
But that's what they say, because he played for Coventry, Will.
Yeah.
He played for Coventry. And all the fans are going, what are we buying him for? He plays at Coventry. And this is the problem. You still get good players in the Championship. You get top players. You know, they just got to give him a chance. But, you know, that's what happens. You know, because he was at Coventry, people don't want to pay the 15 million. So they go and buy Beto from, where is it? Real Betis, somewhere like that, because it sounds good.
Yeah. So go on then, in terms of this identity, because, you know, I don't think either of us have seen too many sporting games, but from what I have seen, them playing against Manchester City, for example, in the Champions League, it is a 3 at the back. I think it's mainly a 3-4-3 that Amorim has been playing in Portugal. So how difficult will that be for United's players to adapt to? Are used to playing that 4? You know, the 3 centre-backs, the wing-backs, there's talk of Marcus Rashford having to track back and be a wing-back. Can you see that happening?
No, I can't see that happening. Rightly so, not really. I mean, you want Marcus Rashford up the other end of the pitch. You don't want him touching the ball 50 times in his own half. You want him up the other end of the pitch doing damage. What they will need is pace at the back. They will need pace at the back, because they will play 3 at the back and push their wing backs on to make up the midfield, to help the 2 in midfield. So for me, it's important that's where they'll probably have to recruit. Is there, where they go and get some pace at the back next year or whatever. And they need a goal scorer. They need someone who's going to score goals. You know, the 2 lads up front haven't done it. You know, I think Højlund's a young lad. You know, and the other lad, Zico, ain't been given really a lot of time yet. But they need an out-and-out goal scorer.
Yeah.
If you want to win football matches, you've got to... We brought already and Van Nistelrooy did. They missed too many chances against West Ham and Fenerbahce. Goal scorers score goals. They score goals.
Just finally for now, Merce, on the top 4 situation, those Champions League spots. And look, I appreciate I'm asking this question on, Halloween, the end of October, but 7 points off the top 4 as things stand, with 7 months of the season to go. Is that still realistic for Manchester United if Amorim starts well?
I think they've got to go and beat Chelsea this weekend to start with. I'd be surprised if they got in the top 4. You know, this manager, I think you could put Pep Guardiola in charge of Man United at the moment. I don't think he could turn it around that much. So, you know, we're talking probably the greatest manager in the world. So, for me, it's going to take time. They've just got to build and have a plan where in 3 or 4 years' time, Man United are going to be back where Man United should be. And that's fighting for Premier League titles. But at the moment, just be patient. They've got to be patient, you know, and start getting rid of players, bringing players in steadily. And that won't be easy with a fair play rule. But at the moment, if they got top 4, he has pulled up trees and would get knighted by our king.
Ruud van Nistelrooy reveals future plans after Manchester United appoints Ruben Amorim. Ruud van Nistelrooy, in his debut press conference as Manchester United's interim manager ahead of the Chelsea match, expressed his eagerness to stay on as assistant manager once his interim role concludes. The 48-year-old emphasised that his interim position will be brief, as Sporting Lisbon's Ruben Amorim has agreed to take over as Erik Ten Hag's permanent replacement. Having led United to a decisive 5-2 victory over Leicester in the League Cup on Wednesday, Van Nistelrooy will remain at the helm for the Premier League showdown with Chelsea on Sunday. He might also oversee United's Europa League clash with PAOK and another league game against Leicester before the November international break. When asked if he would continue leading the team against Chelsea, he responded, "Yes, that's the plan. My interim role is clearly temporary, and I'm happy with that. I felt compelled to step up and help the club during this period, Van Nistelrooy shared, although Erik's departure was tough to accept. There are mixed emotions, but we have to pivot quickly to focus on winning. 75,000 fans are in the stadium, and millions more are watching. That's our mindset for Sunday, and we'll reassess from there. Van Nistelrooy clarified his intent to stay at the club in a supporting role once Amorim arrives. I came here for a reason, he stated, initially as an assistant to help the club progress. I'm motivated to stay and support the club in any capacity. After my interim role, I'll return to my assistant contract for this season and next. My commitment to United is solid. Reflecting on his future role, he said, I'm here to do whatever is needed to help the club improve. As things unfold and Ruben Amorim arrives, we'll see how my role evolves, but my commitment is clear. My focus is to do everything within my capabilities, as so many others here are doing, to fight for this club. United is not where we all want it to be, and that's exactly why I'm here. Everyone's eyes are on Manchester United, but it's up to those of us here every day to give our all, supported by our fans. It's a process, and we're fully invested in it.